Today we're going to be covering one of the older E.G.Os in Limbus company, and that will be Heathcliff's Telepole. Heathcliff's Telepole E.G.O is a Heat level E.G.O. Has a 33 roll with -12 base, does piercing damage, has attack with 3. On use, gain charge count by empty resonance. Spend 5 charge count to gain +3 skill power to a maximum of 12. Holy smokes. And on tails hit, gain +5 charge count. So, take into account you can boost your attack power by 12. Holy smokes, is that a high cap. You'll be doing a maximum roll of 45. 45 is a little bit crazy. Oh my goodness. But you're going to have to use a lot of charge for that, which I suppose the tails hit helps you get, and the on use helps you get too. But the passive roar will help you get it too. By after defeating an enemy, you gain charge count by half that turn's enemy resonance. Which, if you're running an MV Resonance team, which you could be, then you're going to get a lot of charge count. Well, a decent amount at least. But it's kind of odd because it's a negative rolling E.G.O, but it makes you lose less than the average Heat sanity, which is going to make you lose 20 sanity instead of the average 25. So that's a little bit, I would rather lose 25 than 20 if I'm trying to roll negative, but still. And you have to spend 3 Wrath, 2 Lust, and 3 Envy to use it, which makes it a whopping 8 resources. Holy, 8 resources for a E.G.O? That is pricey. This E.G.O can roll insanely, but that's still a fairly high price to pay. But you're also going to have to pay with your resistances because you're not evolved, so you're going to have negative all-in-all resistances. So, Fatal to Sloth, Fatal to Gluttony, Endured to Pride, and Ineffective to Envy. If you thought this E.G.O had an insane roll on the Awakening, you're not wrong, but the Corrosion is even better. Rolling a 39 with a -21 roll has piercing damage and attack with 3. On use, gain charge count by envy resonance, same as before, but spend all charge count to gain +15 skill power, and on heads hit, do 3 fragility next turn, which is very good. Fragility is always amazing, especially next turn. But let's look at the roll that it can roll. It can roll a whopping 54. Holy smokes. And it doesn't even say you have to spend like 10, 15, 20. It just says spend all charge count. So if you have any charge on you, which you most likely will, then good luck because you're going to be having an insane roll. Moving on from the astounding rolls of the Corrosion to the jaw-dropping looks in the drip category. The drip of this E.G.O is very good, both being amazing on the Awakening and the Corrosion, but the Corrosion, oh my goodness, the Corrosion is amazing, but so is the Awakening. They're both phenomenal, so I gotta give that a, I'm a little biased here because this is one of the first E.G.Os I've ever gotten in Limbus company, so just the factor of rose-tinted glasses, I gotta give it a 10, easily. And on the strength category, is this even a question? Dealing out humongous damage, humongous rolls. AoE is pretty solid, being at a whopping 3. Being able to inflict 3 fragile next turn on 3 enemies is just amazing. This E.G.O is just phenomenal. Easy 10, easy 10. Now, this E.G.O is going to fall off a little bit in the usefulness category because Heathcliff only has 1 charge ID, and that ID doesn't even benefit too much from getting charge. It likes getting charge, but it's not going to be the end-all be-all or the be-all end-all of if it gets it or not. So, after all, it does inflict a little bit of fragility, so you definitely got that going. Some AoE is nice, but it's really expensive. I guess it doesn't cost that much sanity either, so I'll give it a, 4 on the usefulness scale. Well, that was the E.G.O, and I gotta say, it's better than I remember it. Although, back then we didn't have any negative quantities, let alone one for Heathcliff. And now that we do, it honestly just looks a little bit better than it did before. Although, charge on Heathcliff still is not necessarily the best effect that you could get on him, but it's definitely worth trying to run some Rabbit Heathcliff to use this. I would definitely recommend it. And I definitely would recommend using this E.G.O. But, yeah, that's about it. Pretty simple, but boy, would I be lying if I said it's not effective of an E.G.O. So, yeah. Have a good one.